Here we are at StarLicker Show Episode 3.
Hi, everybody.
What do we have for you today? Let's see. We have a game that I lost really bad. but before we get into that, we are playing on a new patch that's not out yet, but it will be out soon. Will, you want to tell them what you think is the biggest change in the patch?
The biggest change in the new build is you have the ability to heal units. And Hayden, explain how that works.
Okay, so the way it works, so it's actually not as new as it sounds based on what Will just said. So before this patch, when one of your units was injured but you wanted to effectively heal it, you would sell the unit, buy a new one, and then just put it in the same exact spot. That was a very common thing to do. So what we did is we took that function and just made it happen automatically with a button called heal, where you, instead of having to sell and buy it and place it again, you just select the unit, you hit heal, it'll charge you half the cost of the unit, which is the same as it would have, was the same as the net cost of selling and then buying a new one.
Basically, you got a cannon. It's dying.
Hold on. So let me finish. So
whoa,
it's the same except when you're healing a cannon. And
that's
now
what I was
when you heal a cannon, the levels stay what they were when you heal it. So that means it's much easier to get a very highly upgraded cannon now. That's the big change. Right? Right, Will?
That's right.
So it's mostly just a convenience thing plus the ability to keep a cannon leveling up even when you heal it. So that actually makes a big difference. The games don't get as dragged out because a good player keeps healing their high-level cannons, and then they eventually just get so fast it becomes very powerful much sooner than before. It was pretty much impossible to get a very high-level cannon unless you were really just substantially better. But now you can just get it by just keeping that cannon full on life.
Yeah, it also changes the way I think you purchase cannons, because you can now if you can maintain a cannon that's on the enemy side, that can having the ability to save the level is huge.
Yeah, so now keeping it alive through your defense is even more important than it was before.
Because you could essentially, as long as your cannon's life is full, and the enemy has blast level 4, if your life is full, they can't destroy it. It can't be taken out the game.
Exactly.
But with blast, but they can shoot it out, of course. But that's a lot more strategic.
Exactly. So that's a big change. The other big change is that ice is better. So we're seeing a lot more use of the Frieza unit, which is good because that unit was pretty crappy before.
Yeah, before you could bubble spam it and just kind of nullify anything it does.
Yeah, so you can still do that, but now if any ice does get through, it freezes you much quicker, and it feels just much harder to deal with. I'm still kind of feeling we might have gone too far with that, but I think it's good for now. We have to just see how it plays out.
Yeah, ice is possibly ice is as important as demon now.
Yeah, at least.
And using them together is now going to be the most effective strategy, which is what we want.
Yeah.
Because before it was fire would just nullify it. Having a demon instead of an ice was usually always the best move. I'd say 9 out of 10 times, maybe even higher.
Yeah.
The other thing that's new is Lenny is updated. His new animation.
Subtle, but definitely a nice little change. There's a few other visual changes that you'll notice when the patch releases.
Super Bar has new look to it. It's a little more cleaned up.
Alright, so do you want to just dive into this match?
Okay, so last episode, Hayden beat me, and it was a devastating loss.
Yeah, that was an early version of this patch.
since then, we've played like 5 or 6 matches, and I've won every single one of them, which was great. Because we were testing the build, and this match we got to use our special powers. So I went first, and we picked. I picked the level Agrozag because I think this level has a very different kind of strategy than the other levels. The main difference on this level is that there are only 2 nodes on the near your base, and controlling those 2 nodes is essential. And if you control those 2 nodes, then the only way for someone to attack you is to get in this like middle area, which has a lot of nodes. So it's a very different kind of level. You can see here's my first turn. You know, is it broadcasting? Yeah, Hayden is
I'm not watching the stream, so I'm not sure.
So Hayden is just like collecting all the bullets. Okay.
So yeah, so you opened with both your nodes covered, basically.
Yeah, I didn't want the opportunity of you to buy a cannon on one of these nodes, so
yep.
I just said I'm gonna buy it on both.
Right. So you knew I was gonna easily get all the bullets, but it was worth it because you wanted that opening start, that set up at the start.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So then let's go into my first turn. So what I did is put down ice right away. First turn.
I'll say this: I was very surprised at this turn that you had bought Jagged Ice and not Freezy Aura.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about special powers for a minute. So the previous 2 episodes we deliberately didn't play with any special powers on, just to show what the game looks like in like vanilla mode. Tonight we said let's just set all the special powers however we want, like how we would normally play. And I mean, I'd say I'm okay with the current state of special powers. I think some of them could be more balanced. I think some units there's clearly just one that's better than all the rest, and everybody uses it. I would like to see there to be like kind of 2 good ones per unit at least, so it's like at least we see some variety among the best players. But I don't think we're quite there yet. On some units we are, not all the units though. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet at all. But I do think our main focus with this build really was to make it so we get rid of that squiggler problem. Like that's a huge deal right now.
Oh yeah, that's another change in this build. It's behind the scenes. You're not going to actually see it happen in this match, but now you're actually the number of units you can place is limited, and it's based on the number of nodes you control on the map. So if you're just like turtling up in your base trying to make a wall of squigglers, it just eventually will just tell you like not enough nodes, can't buy new units until you get more cannons out, and then so then that just it's a hard it shuts down that wall off strategy hard.
It's essentially
that just doesn't work anymore.
It's like SimCity. You have to have it's like you have to have a power.
Yeah.
Like a power station.
Yeah. So getting back to special powers, I chose Jagged Ice and Freezy. Will saying he's surprised I picked that. That's the one that makes ice do double damage, which is like it's still less damage than normal bullets will do, but it's like closer. Yeah, and like I don't know, I probably should have. The other one I considered is the one that Will picked, which is the fire extinguisher aura. And I don't know, I think that's one of the units where it's not clear what the best special power is. So I think that's actually a good thing.
Well, I completely disagree. I think Freezy Aura is by far the best. Basically, any fire bullets that go in my aura, I convert into normal bullets, and I'm able to bubble. So you'll see later on in the match that plays an important role.
Mm-hmm. So which unit would you say there are 2 special powers that are like equally good?
Maybe Guardian.
Which ones?
I think the life one's good, but also I think the extended range is good. I also think the one where like extra like it's extra slow, like it's extra powerful.
Yeah, I think that one's really good and underrated. I think that might be the best one, actually.
People are starting to use that. I use life just because it's like it heals your buildings. It's like it has.
Yeah, that we might eventually change that to make the life, the healing bullets not affect buildings.
There's nothing more satisfying than like putting that right in front of your building and then healing it.
Yeah,
it's like,
it is satisfying, but I think it's a little too good.
I think it's satisfying because the other player doesn't know they can do that, and they're just like, just know their look on their faces of complete devastation.
Right.
It's a little.
Yeah, I think between Inferno bullets and extended range on the demon, that's kind of a toss up. And actually, now that ice is so much better, maybe even the ice melter aura is also going to be in there now.
Yeah.
So we're doing good there with that unit.
Seeker is kind of.
Seeker's the most broken one.
Because it's too powerful.
The dynamic targeting Seeker is by far the best. It's the only one anybody uses. Because being able to re-aim is just so valuable. Nothing's ever going to be better than that. So I think we're going to change that to make it a little worse.
What's funny is before, like, some of these imbalances we didn't know, and we would use other units, but once one person makes the jump, then, like, everybody makes the jump, and then it becomes standard.
Yeah.
The new big one is also the bow on Squiggler. The movable Squiggler has now become, like, essential. Because you can.
Yeah, why do you think that happened? Is it because of ice? Like spreading out ice is really good.
Well, once we made the life a lot stronger, it became very strategic to move him around, to move that unit around.
Oh, as a meat shield.
Yeah, and like meat shield. And it's kind of like the re-aim on the Seeker. It's like if you can tweak something every round, you get a lot of value out of it.
Oh yeah, well I mean I love that. I love the counterplay between like adjusting the Seeker to aim at the cannon, and then you move your Squiggler to block it again. I love that dynamic.
Yeah.
We don't really see it that much, but I know what you're talking about. We do see it sometimes. I've done that.
I'm playing my turn against your response, and it's pretty basic. I'm just using bubble. I don't have harvest. I have to collect every bullet.
Right, so I'm letting Will kind of lead on this analysis because, to be honest, I have no idea why I lost so badly, but he claims to know exactly every mistake I made, so he's gonna tell you and me what all the mistakes I made are as we go along.
So I'd say your first turn is a very strong opening move. You'll see I completely mirror it.
Yep, I didn't remember that. That was annoying. But I guess it affirmed my.
I don't have a lot of money, and I have those two nodes. That's all the money I had. I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
I'll say this: like the better the game the better the players get, the more mirroring I see.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's
the map's mirrored. It just kind of happens.
Makes sense. Well, I mean, it's the game is completely symmetrical for the most part, not counting special power choices.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really don't think we've achieved like two very different but equally competitive strategies in the design. We haven't really. I mean, I just don't think we're there. That's where we want to be, obviously, but I think there's still just like one best way to play. That's where we are today. So anyway, continue on. Next turn.
You do okay. Let's see, do you use your super? Yeah, you use your super, so you harvest. Every time you harvest a cannon, you get 200 energy units.
Well, yeah, that's the most you can get. Yeah.
That's the most you can get, and every cannon also shoots 200 energy units, so you could basically think about every cannon you buy is potentially 200 units for you to harvest every round.
And potentially 200 for your opponent to collect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So then you respond, and this is your first mistake. This is a big mistake.
Okay.
So you respond by adding a demon and a puffer, and then you move your squiggler down. The reason why this was a mistake.
Yeah, tell me why. I really don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, I can theorize, but I'd rather you just tell me.
The problem is when your demon isn't firing at something like nearby.
Mm-hmm.
If your demon isn't really like gonna hit anything, because it's not gonna hit anything.
Oh, I see.
It just.
So you're saying it was just a waste of money, like 300 for that?
No,
wasn't.
It's not a waste of money. It's that you should have bought Freezy. It's just like you didn't buy Freezy. It's not even that it's a waste of money. It's that this is an easy round, and it's a waste of money. It's an easy round against me. You cause, and I have no problem.
Okay.
If you watch my replay, I bubble the Freezy bullets. The ice
right,
bullets,
yeah, I mean, I remember you had no problem.
And then I quickly am able to fly and grab the fire bullets.
Okay, so would you say... So it's not that it was such a bad move itself, but it was bad because there was a much better move I should have done.
Both. It's a bad move. I mean, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, so it was a waste. Like, the money invested in it wasn't worth it.
It's not even the money, because it's not even that much more expensive. It's just like... Well, I'll tell you, like... It's... A big part of this game is denying the other person... Like, you want to make it so they can't collect all the bullets. Right?
Right.
That way they don't buy as much.
Yeah.
Well, when you see how I responded, which is almost the exact same thing, but I have 2 Freezies and no demon...
Yeah.
You see you weren't able to collect it. It's just like cut and dry.
Well, because it was fat. Like the...
You have to bubble everything, and now... Like,
level 1 bubbles is like really not good enough to handle this much ice.
Nope. So...
But what I should have probably done there is go up to level 2 instead of what I did, which I think was go up to this level 2 harvest. So I think I also chose the wrong defense upgrade there.
Yeah. Which is also, I mean, it's... Ice is a lot stronger now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was just me being cocky. I thought I'd be able to handle both ice streams at level 1, but obviously it didn't really work out. I mean, it worked out okay. A few of them got through, but it was definitely a lot less clean than I'd want it to be.
Now you're already on a lower playing field. Like, you don't have as much money, and now you're on a lower playing field. And this is a huge thing about the game. It's like the amount of money you have is basically the difference. Like, if we have 2 people who know all the same strategies, can think as many moves ahead, know what mistakes not to make, the one with more money is going to win, hands down.
Right, and that comes down to their defense skill, basically.
And their offense, because offense is essentially defense in this game too. If you're not playing defensively, then you're not going to do well, and that's like a really tricky thing in this game. Yeah,
that is tricky because I barely even know what you're talking about.
But yeah, like
every. So can you explain that? Explain what you mean by playing
offensively,
defensively.
Every offensive move I make you have to calculate how you can defend, how that helps your defense, essentially. It's not that I'm not just attacking you, I'm also protecting myself.
In terms of like meat shields, like I just don't understand. Like, what are you doing?
Okay.
What offensively is defensive besides placing meat shields?
Okay, one thing is that you don't do, that I certainly do, is, and it's more of like, this is something like the more you play, the more you see, and like it's not an obvious tactic. So like something a lot of people do is they'll attack cannons, but they don't attack like seekers, and they don't attack like demons or freezies, or they don't attack like, it's like you might think like, oh, I gotta attack the cannon because that's like the big thing, and then by attacking the cannon I'm gonna weaken that whole like structure. But really is if you attack everything like just a little bit, you can get it so that you can blast them with one hit.
Yeah.
And then like you can like and then you can keep the cannon bullets coming down, and you can like collect the energy. There's things like that.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
So like,
that's a good point.
You gotta like, it's like this game just is extreme paranoia. It's like,
I still don't see how that's playing offensive defensively, but
I mean, I don't know if that's one. Well, okay, the way you do that is, maybe my forker is shooting at a demon and not a cannon. Like I'm making like you have to weigh the values. You have to weigh you have to really think about where every bullet is going, what they're gonna pick up, and what they're gonna miss.
Okay, so basically you're saying that it's on offense. What you mean by playing defensively on offense is to like be very mindful of what you're targeting.
Yes.
Such that like you have the option to like disable it with blast when you're on defense, or just that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, and the way you do it is you don't have to like think about. You don't have to think that far ahead. You just have to think about, given the circumstance I'm in right now, what's the best thing I can do next turn? And if you think that, if you just think that way, you'll probably do really well. Because that's all you're given. That's your hand. It's like you get this amount of money, and you're like, how much can I spend to make it as hard as possible for the person on the next turn? And what that means is you have to really think about when you do badly, like what hurts you the most, and then you want to do that to the other person harder, or like you want to keep that, you want to remember those things that hurt you.
Right, like the things that were really hard to defend against, that stuff like that.
Yeah, and like the other way you think defensively, offensively is like you don't just buy a cannon and just put it out there. Because that
so-called naked cannon.
A naked cannon could get destroyed. A naked cannon can get blown out the water. Like, it's not worth it. Even buying a cannon without a freezy or a demon in front of it is a huge risk. It's like that's like when I do that, I am freaking the fuck out. Like I am like my back is against the wall. That's like hand-to-hand combat. That's like I'm about to fucking die. Like this is bad. I gotta do this.
Interesting.
I never like there was this strategy people were doing for the longest time that I would see them when they were coming up, but then when they would get to like the high level rankings, I think all the high level players would like stomp it out, but people were like not buying anything, and then they would collect and I would have to buy things, and they were collecting all this money, and then the first thing they would buy when they had all this money was just a bunch of cannons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would freak out low-level players. But for a high-level player, you just look at it like free money. There's no strategy. There's no infrastructure. None of these have any speed. I'm going to take them out. But, I mean, like, if you don't see that coming, potentially, then, yeah, you could lose.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And I think that we still do see that strategy.
We see it, but I think if...
Done by people who don't realize that it's not that good yet.
They're not noobs, but you can tell they're like...
mid-level.
They're like tricking people they're tricking noobs. Okay, so let's see how you do. Okay, yeah. Did we already play this scene where you didn't do... You did okay. Okay, and then this is how you respond. This... When I saw this response, I was like...
this one looks pretty bad in hindsight, actually.
How much money did you even have?
Not that much. I wasn't able to collect a lot off the double ice. That was hard.
So this is... Hayden, what are you doing?
Alright, well, I mean, what I was thinking was what I wanted to do was I wanted to get both of those streams firing into the same squiggler to create that like ice fire breed thing that we used to do all the time.
Why?
So like basically you pump ice and fire into the same unit, and then it kind of creates like an alternating ice fire stream.
Okay, but looking at this right
so that's what I wanted to do, but then I didn't have quite enough money to
Why'd you do this?
Why?
Looking at this, all I have to do is bubble the freezies Bubble the ice bullets and then collect the fire bullets. Bubble the ice bullets and collect the fire bullets. And they're right next to each other. It's very easy.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I know why it wasn't a good idea in hindsight, but that's what I was thinking at the time. But then I couldn't even do it, so I like just did this like really pointless setup. In like just I don't know. I have no excuse. I messed up.
Did you think I was just gonna get attacked and just like fall and just like spin out of control? Like,
I don't know. I think. I mean, to be honest, like I think what it really is for me on this map is at this stage, like this turn, I just never know what to do, and I just like always just do something stupid.
yeah,
Like I don't know how to in this map. I don't know how to transition from like you have your core set up on those two close cannons. And
okay.
then like what do you do next? I never know, and I just always do something stupid.
This map is completely different than every other map.
I know. It's hard.
So the way you do it is you get the 2 back rows. This is my strategy for this map, and this is how I beat you. You get the 2 back rows. Okay. Fire a lot of ice with 2 spreaders, squigglers. So now you have all this. You just have all this fucking ice coming at you, right?
Okay.
And then, if you can, every round, you put a cannon, and you put.
So you
like,
go up to 3 cannons on the third turn.
if you have the money.
So that's what so if you look at what I did, I should have not bought. Let me see. Actually, I have to see exactly what I bought. Okay, yeah. So I bought a squiggle. I bought a seeker. It's 200.
Why'd you buy the fucking seeker?
I know. I know that. I'm just saying, like, how could I afford a cannon?
You spent $380.
Yeah. So I think that.
You would have had a naked cannon.
Yeah, exactly. So would a naked cannon have been worth it here?
That's it. Well, if you look at what I do, I almost have a naked cannon, but I think I put like a squiggler.
Yeah, you moved the squiggler down or something, or you bought a new one.
And then I put like a fork. I either put a squiggler or a forker, and then.
Yeah.
But I'm collecting more money, so basically on this turn I just collect the ice, and I collect the fire, and now you're starting to see the repercussions of that demon choice, because now.
Yeah.
I'm in a higher economic. This part of the game I think is the most difficult. I think this part of the game, like this, like getting the 2 to 3 cannon kind of thing. A lot of times, every game I've been losing, I'd say for the last month or so, whether it was against you, or like a player on the game. Whenever I'm losing, I just have 2 cannons, and then they just get more and more and more and more and more every round, and I'm just stuck with these 2 cannons, and that's like, it's a really tricky spot to be in, and it's over. Basically, it's over. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
That's like a tough dynamic to wrap your head around. Like, why? Like, what causes that? So you find yourself never having enough money, kind of, right?
Yeah. What
so
causes that?
What exactly causes that?
Well, a bad rush can cause that. Like, you blow a rush, and like you're just now like, oh
okay,
god.
but like, say that's not it. Like, what? Like, in this game, what caused it? Like, why?
Well, you didn't buy a 3rd cannon.
Right, but then even after I do, and then I eventually buy a 3rd and a 4th, which we'll see very shortly. But they just go nowhere, and they get killed, and then I'm just like I'm behind on cannons, and I just can't ever come back.
Well, your demon is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is the demon in this case. It's very specific.
The demon was a bad move.
Because go on to the next turn. Go on to like your next turn with me defending against your 3rd cannon. Yeah, and look how much trouble the double ice gives me. And even though you have an almost naked cannon.
I'll say this: the game is becoming like a demon is a great unit to attack something specifically, but ice is like that. That like ice and spreader is just hard. Like, and it's not really attacking anything, but what it is attacking is Lenny. Like, yeah, ice is attacking Lenny, and Lenny is now slow. Lenny is now having difficulty, and because Lenny's being slow, as having all this difficulty, he's not harvesting. He's not collecting as many bullets, and
still just getting through.
And you're falling behind.
Yep.
And if you look, the game's very symmetrical right now.
Except for the ice damage.
Well, you harvest, okay, and now you're making. I mean, you have a lot of money.
Yeah, I still do at this point. This is where I go up to the 4th cannon, right? Or maybe I go 3 and then 4 the next turn.
Oh, this turn. This was a horrible move. This was like, I mean, looking at this, it was just like you have no idea what you're doing.
Alright, what was the problem with this?
The problem with this is the problem with the last turn, which is you have good units, good attacks, but you fire everything into this one concentrated point, which makes it very easy for me to collect.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say. I know, that was just newbie.
And you were like, let's look at what you have. You have all the right units. They're all there. But they're like, if you took that demon and you put it on the lower cannon, and then you had the Seeker firing at one of my cannons, you'd be good.
Yeah.
And if you took that Freezy and you moved it up to that one up ahead.
Yeah, but instead they're all shooting right into that center point by the splitter.
So it's just easy for me to collect. Like, I don't know why you thought this would be hard for me to collect, and it's really. I don't know why you go for these new ideas that are just crazy, like ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It's just how I play. It's hard for me to overcome it.
It's like.
It's just how I play every game. Like I always just like want to try new weird shit and see if it works, but it usually doesn't work.
That's not how the game. The problem with StarLicker is how consistently brutal it is. And let's look at where your Seekers firing these ice bullets up, and they're not even hitting anything. They're just going off the map.
Well, they're supposed to be going into the splitter.
But you missed. It's like it's so boneheaded.
Wait, no, they don't. They don't miss.
Are you the ice ones? They're just not even going at it.
Wait, really? That was just like a mistake.
There's nothing.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's like it's so bad.
Oh, actually, I remember why. I know why this happened. Oh yeah, that was just really sloppy. I remember. Oh yeah, oops.
What? It's like
the reason this happened is because originally I was gonna have the spreader be just like right above the splitter, just as to be like I don't know, just.
Oh yeah.
Because why not?
Because you also.
But then I decided at the end to move him down, and then I forgot to readjust the left Seeker.
Look at this spreader just sitting.
That was real bad. That's just pure slop.
You have this spreader just sitting and doing nothing.
I'm sorry, everyone. We shouldn't even be talking about this game with a mistake like that in it.
This is the turn where I was like, "What are you doing?" Like,
damn, that's frustrating.
Like you were so frustrated.
Okay,
like,
so just continue on. It starts to get really ugly from this point on.
You have made mistakes, but you're not. If you had done this turn to the best of its ability, you could have been attacking my cannons in the back.
I know.
You would have done the turn proper.
Mm-hmm. I know. I don't know what to say. I'm embarrassed. It's bad. It's a bad one. It's funny how I just keep. This is only the 3rd episode, and 2 of the games have been like me. Just I was so apologizing for how bad I am at the game.
Well, the last one I failed.
But that was also like a brand new patch that we hadn't tested at all. And like the bubble change. By the way, we reverted the bubble change from the previous episode. If you didn't notice, that really took William by surprise in the last episode, and I don't think that was really fair.
Well, it was interesting to try.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we have to do something about bubble.
And I corrected.
Not that, and we're gonna figure it out in a later patch.
I hate losing, so like if I lose to ice, then I'm like, well, like every strategy I've ever used that I covet, and it's like this is the best strategy. Someone used that against me. You know?
No, I mean, you're good. You know how to play a competitive game. You learn very fast.
Okay, so what did I buy?
So yeah, let's go through the rest of this match kind of fast because I don't think there's much more interesting stuff here.
So I'd sell one of my Freezy, and I now have fire, ice, fire, which means you have to bubble in the middle, which kind of keeps you slow in the middle, which kind of keeps you. But I'm causing damage. I killed that one Seeker. I think I killed that one Freezy.
Oh, then this is where you start to just pick me apart. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It just starts to get ugly here, and that's why I don't want to obsess over every detail.
So basically, your strategy, which was to not attack me, which was to fire all your bullets into this one like incredible, like I mean you were missing the Seeker or the splitter you were firing into.
No, I know. I just explained it that it was a mistake and it's embarrassing.
So I'm attacking.
Enough of that.
The reason why I won this game is because I attacked you. And the reason why you lost your match is because you just took your bullets and you just like fire them in the air. You're just like running around.
Yeah. This is not my best match. All right. So do you want to go through the rest? Just as we talk, just keep the replay going as we talk. I don't think we have to talk in detail about it though.
So you're trying.
Just so they can see how it concludes. So what do you think about this patch, Will? Do you think this is a good bunch of balance changes to put out there?
Yes, I begged you to put this patch out as fast as possible because I think this is easily the best the game has ever been. This patch is like, I think this is the patch this is where I think we fixed every launch mistake with this patch that we knew and didn't know. And I think this is like, if you like StarLicker in its current form, this is the best patch. The heal button is awesome. Ice by spreader. What else is different? Anything else?
I mean, I think we fixed the unit limit fixes the meat shield wall problem.
Yeah, this is the best the game has ever been.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we are slowly making good steps towards polishing the balance of what we have here.
Okay, now let's talk about the next build. What do we have planned next?
So there's a few different lines of work going on with StarLicker right now. Will's working mostly on visual stuff, making certain things look better. You notice a few things in this build already changing their look. We also have a whole bunch of new ships, which the art is pretty much all done for them, and we want to get those out to you guys, but we didn't have a chance to make a new menu screen. We were gonna unlock and set which ship you want to use in a match. But
we're going on vacation and stuff, and we just wanted to get this fix in first.
We didn't want to delay these changes for the sake of that. So this is going to go out as is. Then in the next patch, we're going to get those new ships out. You'll be able to use diamonds to unlock them. Another way for you guys to support us with money, which is awesome. So that'll be cool. We'll do like an in-depth preview of the ships on like the next episode or something.
Oh, this patch also has there is some new art in this where you go like entering attack mode, entering defense mode.
There's other little stuff like that. Like the super bar changed.
That'll be out when? A few days?
I don't know. I want to test for more bugs throughout the rest of this week.
If you want to test the game,
we'll probably submit to app. I think the App Store, the iTunes thing is actually closed for the holidays. There's like a window where it's closed. I have to look up what those dates are. But as soon as that comes back, probably towards the end of next week, if it's open, then we'll submit it, and then it'll be a few more days, and then it'll be on the App Store. So beyond the next patch where we'll get those ships and more visual updates, we are talking about some more major changes to the game, but I think we're going to hold off on talking about that until next time.
We're exploring big changes that we think, because I think right now the problem with the game is that for new players, it's just very confusing.
Yep. I mean, that's problem number one. It's not good for new players. Really confusing, not obvious what they're supposed to be doing or how to be competitive at it. And the other problem is just like I feel like the high level play is just stagnating a little. I mean, I'm really curious to see what this patch does for that, but I don't really see this patch drastically improving like the diversity of strategies we're seeing at the top level of the game. I don't. I think there's still just like maybe 2 or 3 basic ways to play, and that's it.
I think we're very close to the game being like essentially solved. You know, like
right. Yeah.
This is the best turn. This is the best.
Yeah, like
turn.
you always compare it to tic-tac-toe, where it's like if you know what you're doing, there's just like a right move to make at all times.
And then it's.
And we don't. That's not a good strategy, and we don't want the game to be like that. So if we have to make big changes to get there, then we're going to, and that's what we have. What's what we have in the lab right now. We're working on.
Yeah.
And as soon as we have like more concrete stuff, hopefully we can show you guys early versions of those big changes on the show, and then get your feedback, and we'll make sure everything is good. We don't want to alienate anybody who currently likes the game. That's really important.
But I'd say the ideas sound good. It's gonna make the game a lot.
Yeah, we've put a lot of thought into it.
It's gonna make the game a lot more. Like you're gonna have a lot more things to do every turn. That's
like more choices. Yeah, I mean you'll see. Well, let's just leave it at that. We'll get more detailed next time. So if this sounds interesting to you, tune in next time. Anything else you want to say, Will? Did the replay finish?
Almost.
On the stream?
We're going to have new backgrounds for planets,
yes.
Maybe.
Well, when you backgrounds meaning like the planet, you're going to be able to choose which like a certain look for your planet to go along with the ships you'll be able to choose.
We definitely want to make like the UI a little cleaner and nicer. It's very like programmer looking right now. It's very like it's functional. It's not really.
Yeah, both from a visual point of view and functionally, I think we can do a little better with the like moving. So we've talked about this, but moving the kind of like unit specific actions such as like heal and sell to appear in like a context sensitive menu that pops up when you select a unit, and get rid of this like horizontal bar that goes across the screen.
Yeah, this is like when you. Like when I would work at EA and like we would get like an app that would like get you the build of the game or whatever, it would just be like buttons, you know, and like code and crap. It was just like
the tools that the programmer designs the UI for.
Yeah, that's what the UI feels like right now, and like it's tricky.
Ouch, that's harsh.
Who made it? You did.
Yeah, I mean we all kind of pitched in, but yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you. It's not as polished as we'd like it to be, but that's especially harsh. What you just said.
That's what it looks like. It looks terrible.
Nice.
No art.
Okay.
No artist. No artistry.
Okay, fair. I'm not gonna argue.
But you know, that's how the game. That's how you make a game, really. Like, I feel like it's best to let a programmer kind of do their first pass over, get the function, and then make it pretty.
Yeah, no, I mean that's you got to start somewhere. All right, so I think that's gonna be it. As soon as the replay finishes, I think we're gonna call this an episode.
It's done.
It's done. All right, well there you go. Will crushed me on patch 1.0.5. Nothing new. That's it.